Hey, what's up, everybody? We're here on Inside the Circle with Daimion Stafford. Got a great guest today, just going to talk about his process from growing up in Riverside, transferring to Norco High School, the Juco process, and then making it to a Division I program. I always tell our kids, it's not about D1 or die. There's plenty of avenues to be able to make it to college and also the NFL, right? If you're a dude, you're a dude. They're going to find you whatever stop you're at. So just kind of want to dive in with my man Daimion. If you want to introduce yourself, kind of a little background.
Yeah, man. Daimion, Daimion Stafford. I grew up in Riverside, California. I went to Arlington High School at first. I thrived there. I was playing a lot of football early. Freshman year, they were moving me up to varsity, dressing me out on Friday nights as a freshman.
So go back even farther. Where'd you play youth football? Because I was with the Hooper Steelers.
Yeah, I played Hooper Steelers.
You was Hooper Steelers too?
Me and Dallas. Yeah, me and Dallas.
How'd you know Dallas? Was it through youth football?
I had an uncle that was coaching for the Hooper Steelers.
Okay.
Because my first football ever was Riverside Rams.
How old were you there?
I was 8 years old. That was my first year. I was terrible. I was like eyes closed, like bad football. But anyway, so boom. Then we moved to like the high desert, the Victorville area. So I played for Hesperia Sultans. I started getting it that year, and then we moved back to Riverside.
Where out in Riverside were you at?
I've lived all around Riverside. I done touched every elementary school, almost, probably a few junior highs. You know what I'm saying? I was everywhere. But my family's from the east side of Riverside.
Okay.
So once we moved back, my uncle was coaching at the Hooper Steelers. So I was a little older than his son, so he coached the micros. I played junior peewee.
Yeah.
And then that's when I met the Kelly family. And then I played football with one of those sons. It's 4 boys, I think it is. So I played football with at least one of those kids every year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got close with that family. And then we separated once we went to high school.
What made you go to Arlington? Was it just local?
That's
right down the street.
We lived on that side of town, so that's just where it is. When I was growing up, it was
you went to the home school.
Wherever you go, wherever you live, that's where you go. So I went there freshman year, played football. Like I said, thrived there. I played wide receiver and DB. It was like very easy. But then sophomore year, I got moved up to varsity. I played varsity, started corner, started wide receiver as a sophomore.
So you were at Arlington 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
freshman and
sophomore years there.
Yeah.
And then what was Dallas? He went straight into Norco?
Dallas went straight to Norco.
Okay. So he was about a sophomore. So he was part of our championship that year.
Yep.
And you came spring semester?
I came the year the year after you guys won it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to sit out, or were you able to play?
No, I played right away. Yeah. I played right away. I remember transferring to Norco, and they were doing because you guys had just won the CIF.
Yeah.
So now it's just like the new guys coming up, not the new guys, but the guys that were still, on the team.
Because that team was loaded. You had Carl Bradford. You had what?
This was even before them. You guys still had Evan Ruiz playing safety. Mikey Lazier was corner.
All white DBs.
Wes Boulay was returning. Who else was out there? There was some guys out there. Some guys. And they all played good football. So it was, I remember not making the playoffs at Arlington and going to watch you guys play at Norco, you know what I'm saying?
And that's exactly how my transfer process went. I was with Rubidoux. We went 0-10, dog, played varsity as a freshman. Then I went to go watch all of Toby's games. Yeah. So as they're playing and going on their championship run the year that they played North versus the Morton Twins and stuff like that, when they got blown out, I was watching all those playoff games, and they were just thrillers every single week. And it's like, damn, I could get down with this. I like the environment, 5,000-6,000 people at the game. And for me, going from Rubidoux, right? So you have Rubidoux, which is West Riverside, right? Avalon Park, that's where we practiced at. You guys were on the east side, right? 1200 block. Yeah. For us growing up, I've seen a lot of people growing up in Rubidoux that were very good athletes, right? Josh Edwards, Quincy Bagby, some of the best football players that I've seen coming up didn't make it, right? And Rubidoux split, right? You have Rubidoux, then you have the new area, which was Hooper Valley. A lot of talent for years that was at Rubidoux, just, they always said it was the cycle, meaning great high school football. Very few of them went to college. They went right back to the streets, started game banging, started selling dope. It was either you're arrested, right? You're killed, or, whatever, those really wasn't too many options. Yeah. And once I seen my brother, who was 2 years older than me, go through his process, and it was literally true. I just watched it all happen. All the kids we played junior NJB with growing up, little league football, it was a pattern, right? And my dad seen that, and it was like, we got to go. Like, we got to get out of here. Let's go to Norco. They're doing something good right down the street. We played versus those guys all growing up in youth football. And literally the move from Rubidoux to Norco saved my life. Right. I could have easily, like, literally my homies that I was like, that was your boys as growing up as a little kid, babies at 16, in jail, locked up, killed. And it's like, damn, if they would have just came with me over, their whole lives would have been changed, And so somebody from, our backgrounds who grew up in Riverside where all the homies were gangbanging, that was just the first thing that they did. Once you're done with football season, there was no going to train or track. Them niggas went right back to the streets and they went right back to making money. It's like, where's everybody at? Like, ain't nobody here for spring ball. Oh, we got to get, you got cops bringing them to practice, parole officers and things. And that was very eye-opening for me, but I always say the best players don't make it. Right? You got to have a little bit of luck. You have to have a little bit of timing. And from you coming from the east side, I was over on the west side of Riverside, growing up in Riverside, literally Riverside babies. Orange Blossom growing up, the skating rink, Castle Park, in cahoots. Right? That was like, you feel me, dog? It was just, that was Riverside. Like, it was Riverside was really Riverside before the IE blew up. And growing up in this area, it was just crazy. Coming to Norco was a completely different culture shock.
For sure.
You go from that and you hear about Norco, you hear about racist white boys, all this different stuff. But when I first went to Norco, Roosevelt wasn't open. So you had a lot more black people at Norco. You had a lot of Mexicans. You had a little bit of everything because all the houses in Eastville were built, but there was no high school for them. So our graduating class at Norco was like 1,200 kids versus the whole school now is 1,200 kids, So kind of got a little bit of little bit of luck when we're there, just a little bit more culture. But for me, I know I have to give credit where credit is due. Norco kept me out of trouble, right? They made sure my grades are right. I had the support system that I needed to get to college. What was your experience transitioning from Arlington over here? Was it a culture shock from the beginning? Did the people in the town kind of warm up to you? Like, how was that for you?
For me, it was I had a cool experience. It was a cool transition. Like I said, I could play ball, so like,
they love you.
You play ball. You know what I'm saying? I came in right away making plays. I remember we did like a 7-on-7, like on Fridays we did a 7-on-7, and I went out there. I had like 2 or 3 picks, and I had like Vans on. I didn't even have cleats on yet. I didn't even know, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but just even the kids, like, you know what I'm saying? I never had no problems like with race or nothing like that.
None of that. That's what I tell people.
I had more problems with race at Arlington. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With the blacks and Hispanics and stuff like that. So. That wasn't. I never really had no issues with the racist stuff.
Never, huh?
Ever.
That's why I tell people, like, man, Norco's racist. Like, dog, I don't know what Norco you talking about. Maybe because I was an athlete, right? I never got to deal with that. I always felt like they took care of us. They kept us out of trouble. They kept our nose clean.
But even just the teachers, not the teachers, but like the counselors.
Counselor was awesome. Miss McCullough saved my life.
Oh my God.
Shout out Miss McCullough. You literally put so many kids in college. I would say at least 100 plus kids that she took underneath their wing and made sure they got to where they needed to get.
Like the godmother, for sure.
Straight up.
For sure. She wasn't even my counselor, but she made it her point to make sure I had to do what I had to do. And I still didn't get it done, and she still treated me no different. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Shout out to her. And then even after I moved on and went to junior college, Nebraska, she still reached out. I think she came to a couple of Nebraska games. You know what I'm saying? If not Tennessee also. I just, it's a while back. But
that's awesome, man. So we at Norco High School, right? What was your most memorable game at Norco?
Memorable.
You guys made
good memory or bad memory?
Yeah, give me a good memory of.
Good one. Man, let me see.
Like, what was kind of your coming out party where it's like, dang, this Daimion Stafford kid's is like legit. He had a huge game.
Let me see.
Because was Dallas a year ahead of you?
Yeah. Okay, so my junior year, there was Dallas' senior year. Yep. So let me see who we played first. I don't think it took me long to like really start like making plays like. So I mean, I just did a lot. I did punt returns and stuff like that. Because I, like you said, watching people before we went there. I remember Thomas Taylor and like Bryce Holland. And like when I walked by Bryce that day, he's like, "Oh, what's up, man, Bryce?" I'm like, "Bryce Holland? Like, I know you
I know like, you was a baller, yeah.
But like cool. Thomas Taylor was like, he was electrifying, returning punts and kickoff returns. And I used to just try to do that same thing. I remember watching his highlight from on Max Preps. Not Max Preps, what did we have? Scout.com.
Yep.
Watching Scout.com highlights and stuff like that, So I just tried to do stuff like that. And just being a banger. I know we had to, hard hitting. You know, that was just our MO, and that's what I try to see nowadays. Like I see kids in Norco helmets, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's see if he's, you got
that, that DNA in you.
You know what I'm saying? And so I was doing a lot of that, and that was just a strong part of my game. So it was probably always a game.
So were you free in high school, or were you strong safety?
I played both. I was a little bit of both. Yeah, like we were single high. I think my junior year, if we were single high safety, Evan played the middle, and then I went to corner. And then, we had the lightning back there. Yeah. Lightning backer was like a strong safety.
Pretty much, yeah.
Our athletic linebacker played lightning. You know what I'm saying? So I played that, So
a little bit of everything?
A little bit of everything, yeah.
So what was your first offer?
My first offer, I think Arizona State. I think that's the first, Arizona State. When that's the first time coach was like, hey, they're serious.
Yeah.
If you could get your school stuff done, you got action.
Was that junior year or your senior year?
That was like going into senior year, yeah. I had started putting on some real weight. I mean, I put on good weight my first year, but I was, going into that senior, the game was slowing down. Like I was like, I think everybody was starting to get who I was, you know what I'm saying? So
and ASU was loaded at that time. That's when like Francis Burke went there, Perfect, Shelly Lyons, McGee, Will Sutton.
I think they were coming through and snatching all of us.
Yeah, they took the whole,
all our linemen. I think Kyle Johnson went.
Yep.
Tello, awesome. All those guys.
So what, did you commit to a school in high school?
No, I was never close enough to even be like, he might make it. I always knew, I was going junior. At first, I'm going to keep it honest right now. Before I came to Norco, I had no idea Juco existed. Yeah. Like I knew you could go play football at like a junior college, but I didn't know that it was like the pipeline to go Division I and all that. I thought once you go play Juco, it was just over. If you don't get drafted out of a junior college, you're out of here.
Yeah.
So boom, but then even once I found out about the Jucos, I didn't understand that you had to become a qualifier out of Juco to even, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
What screwed you up? Because this happens to a lot of kids, right? Before you go to a school, like at least for us in Norco, there was a plan for you, right? Rubidoux, bro, I was flunking out freshman year. There was I didn't even know who my counselor was. I didn't know what pre-SAT, SAT, like there was none of that. It was just like go to class, get good grades. If you don't, we got to go and use a waiver for you so you could play. Right. That's kind of how it was. Yeah. So going to Norco, having real structure, was your whole first 2 years at Arlington just a waste? Just like you had to make all that up?
It was just a waste. I was so behind. And then I was in choir class. I was just laughing about this with my uncle the other day. We was laughing. I'm like, man, they put me in choir class just so I could be eligible. You know what I'm saying? I was in choir and surrounded. I had 4 electives. You're not even supposed to have that if you have good grades.
Yeah, straight up. I said, ceramics, choir, dance, dang.
So, I was so far behind. And then I even still did a lot to, I said, I had to help.
Right back
Novenet. Oh, yeah, exactly. I was in Novenet for sure. I did all this stuff, like I said, I had to, Gerhardt, Miss McCullough, they helped me catch back, at least get on the right path. And then I just started trucking it off again, what I'm saying, getting comfortable, thinking I'm the shit, thinking I'm untouchable. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out, procrastinating. Then it's like, damn, you're going Juco now.
Yeah.
There's no shot.
There's no shot, yeah. So you go there, Norco, you get the offers, you go Juco. What made you pick Chafee over?
To be honest, and then that recruit process, it was just like, I'm going to just go where, I'm going to just go wherever. It's the same level. It's not like this is Division I and this is, you know what I'm saying, D1 AA, it's Juco. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, Chafee called.
Dallas there already?
No, Dallas had went to Portland State.
He went to Portland, right?
He went to Portland.
With Nakamoto and those boys.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not going no, I'm staying home to go Juco. And then he wasn't liking Portland, whatever the situation was up there.
All those boys came back.
They came back. We started training with Alicio.
Like Josh Foley, Josh Foley, Nakamoto, Dallas. They all want Portland State. Yeah. So you came back, and that's when you were with Alicio in Dallas.
Started training with Alicio in Dallas. We both started training with Alicio, and he literally turned us into
freaks. I remember that. Y'all film was crazy at Chafee.
Film was crazy. I still watch it to this day. Wow.
Wow, it was literally like that. I remember people were like, "You see Dallas's and Daimion's highlight film?" I'm like, "What?" Boom, turned it on. I was like, "Oh, this is child's play." Literally, Dallas is snapping people in half. You're running amok on the field, punt returns, this, that. Yeah. It's like, okay, they're about to get out. And I thought it was really cool, right? Because I keep bringing up Dallas Kelly, right? Dallas Kelly was a Norco linebacker for the people out there. One of the coldest Mexicans. Looked like a white boy, but one of the coldest. He's Mexican, right? One of the coldest Mexicans, probably 5'10", 205. I remember growing up and playing with him with the Hooper Steelers, but Mariloma kid, just straight out of Mariloma. And one of the hardest bangers, big old dome. So he was like, he's snapping your stuff back.
The DNA helmet.
Yeah,
the first one with the DNA helmet.
And Dallas Kelly was an undersized linebacker like me. He was on my championship teams. Ended up going D1 at AA out of high school because he was undersized, right? 5'10", maybe. Yeah. Give him on a good day, right? 5'10", 205. Ends up going D1 AA, ends up going to Chaffee College. And I don't know if it's true, but you, right, at this time, you had to be like the number 1 player in Juco or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then SC thought that you were going to go to SC, right? Yeah. And I don't know if it's true, but you leveraged that relationship with SC where Dallas ended up having to sign first, right? So he ended up getting a scholarship to USC, and then you pulled out. So how did that happen?
I'm gonna keep it honest about that. I'm gonna tell the story about that. Look, it was actually what's his name? What's his name? Craig,
the lineman guy from Norco.
From Norco recruited me from SC. So he comes to the house. I didn't have class that day, so he comes to the house. And he's like, "Man, pop that highlight tape in." We got the big screen in the living room, So boom, I put it in the DVD player. This is that back then. DVD player.
We still had the DVDs, dog.
So boom, I popped the DVD player, the DVD in, and it starts playing. But it's Dallas's tape. It's not mine. That's why. And we were watching. I was like, "Oh, this is Dallas's." So when I get up from the couch to go switch it, he's like, "Oh no, let it play." He's like, "Who's this?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is our linebacker." He's like, "Woo woo." And so,
and he's a Norco guy too.
Exactly,
Craig's a Norco guy.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's like, "Oh, let it play." 2 plays in, he's like, "Where's this guy at?"
Oh my gosh, yeah, straight up.
So I was like, "Yeah, he's in class." I was probably skipping class, to be honest. I'm not even gonna lie. I probably was skipping class because you have class every day in JUCO. But anyways, so Dallas is at class. So I'm like, "Yeah, he's at school." And he's like, "Oh yeah, we gotta, whatever, however that went."
Yeah.
Dallas gets an offer. You know what I'm saying? And he was able to get in the class because Dallas takes care of school.
Yeah,
he don't mess around. However he got to get it done, he's gonna get it done. So Dallas was able to get into school. I remember Craig and Kiffin came to San Bernardino Valley where I was finishing up some classes to talk to the counselor there that I had. And I remember Kevin was like, "Dude, like, we can't get you into school." I was like verbally committed and all that. And
I remember you was committed to SC.
I was going to SC for
committed.
Sure.
I'm like, It was 3 guys that pulled out. I always say you guys remind me of each other. You, Vontaze Burfict, and Ronald Powell. Said all you guys are killers, right? The mindset you play the game of football, the perfect size for the perfect position. Like Vontaze was meant to play middle linebacker, right? Sure. Like that was his position. You were meant to play safety, right? Strong safety. Like if you could build a safety in the lab, a linebacker, Ronald Powell, defensive end, 3 of the best players ever to come out the Inland Empire, right? And all you guys have because I played with all you guys, right? Whether it was against you guys, with you guys, grew up with you guys.
For sure.
You guys' mindset was all the same, right? Your same approach, right?
That's straight. I never heard it broke down like that.
Straight cool. Gangsters, bro. Where class didn't matter. Weights. Like if I lift, I lift. It's like you're so good. There's very few people who are just that good that could just make it, right? To know like Vontaze, right? He missed his sophomore year, was ineligible, couldn't go to SC because of grades, his whole story that he went through, like not getting drafted, right? Ronald Powell, similar situation but you guys were still so good football players that you guys still made it to the league, right? And still got drafted, right? And played and had a career in the NFL. And it's like there's only so many players out there that I've seen that not say could do it wrong and still make it, but not do exactly what needed to get done to make it. Like you said, Dallas is going to get it done no matter what, There's certain guys that would do what needed to be done to no matter what, but 3 of the best football players that I've watched, it's like, okay, I get it, that were able to go and get drafted and make it and have a career. I would say it was Ronald Powell, Vontaze Burfict, and you. And God gave you guys that ability and blessing and talent, right, to really to play the game of football, right? I said there's some people who are born to play in football and some people who just get lucky and works their butts off and end up making it on a team, But I would say you guys are the 3 of the best players ever out of the Inland Empire. It would be you, Vontaze, and then Ronald Powell. That was that 2001 to 2010 group of guys. Because you graduated what year?
9.
Yeah, so 2009. Yeah, that was some good football before the IE really blew up.
For sure.
But so Now you're at Juco. Yep. You're trying to get your grades. You can't get into SC, and then from there, it's like I'm sure you had. What were your other offers? Pretty much everyone at this point.
Juco. I had everywhere. I had SC. I had Oregon. I had Arizona State again. I had a couple Florida schools. I think Miami. I think I had Florida.
What made you go to Nebraska? Was it just because you could get in, or was it?
It was. I hit the same. I was at the same road. That's when I came to the decision. Like, man, you either gonna
figure this
take
shit
this
out.
Football serious and put football first, or you gonna
go back to the streets.
Yeah, be playing in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna pick one. You can't. That's why I tell kids now. You think you could be a tough guy and play sports? Is if you're a real tough guy, you can't.
You can't.
But if you're just doing it on, you know what I'm saying?
I always tell these kids, gangsters don't go to tutoring.
Right.
And in college, dog, we have 10 hours of tutoring a week. So, you have to go to tutoring your freshman year.
For sure.
Right? So you can't play this. There's a lot of guys who play, but like I said, the ones who are really about that, like, bro, it's either you're going back to the streets, right? And the options are jail, dead, something stupid, or you're going full go with sports, right? And it could really change your life and could change the trajectory of your life, Sure. So that's awesome that you made that decision, right? To change your situation. So there you're at. You're pretty much saying, all right, fork in the road. I'm about to F this up again. I'm about to go right back to Riverside, right? Or I'm going to go and figure this out and make this transition, right?
So that's, I got to that point and, I just chose football, and like I said, it saved my life.
Football chose you, nigga.
It saved my life.
Damn, football chose you.
Because I was fortunate enough to get into school at Nebraska, so I chose Nebraska. On top of me just having a good relationship with Bo Pelini and Carl Pelini, who recruited me out of there, and
because Nebraska was good at that time, right? You guys had Taylor Martinez. You guys had a good thing rolling at that time.
They had just lost to, I think. We had Sue that year. I think Sue's senior year, we lost to, I think they
lost. Yeah, he did go there, huh? Damica?
Yeah, I think we lost to somebody to not go to the Big 12 championship. Because my first year coming to I'm in the inaugural, however you say the word, inaugural Big Ten. So I'm the first year that we joined the Big Ten. You know what I'm saying? So it was perfect for me. Big 12 football is passing, spread, offense. You know what I'm saying? Big 10 is smash mouth.
Football.
It made sense for me. You know what I'm saying? It made sense for me. So, like I said, I felt like I made a good choice then. And then
was Nebraska a lot like Norco?
Oh, it was like Norco with a city. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? You give Norco 20 more thousand people. That's what it was like.
And they love football.
That's all they care about. We got every sport at that school, and the only one that sells out is us. It doesn't matter what's going on. We've had girls playing in the volleyball championship, all kind of stuff, but it don't matter. We could be playing Tennessee Chattanooga. It's gonna be a sellout for sure. Every seat will be taken at that stadium for sure.
So what was your best game in college?
My first game, I would say my best game. Well, not best game. The game where I arrived was literally my first game.
Was that the one with the hit?
Yeah.
That's when you blew up, right?
We played Chattanooga. I was struggling during camp because from Juco being the guy,
dog to
then you go to Division I. Oh my goodness, it was the game speed. I wasn't ready for the game speed.
Were you in shape going, or
no? I was not in shape. I'm thinking I could just chill.
Take a day.
I never. It's just so. I don't know.
What this fool, like, bro, you got the scholarship. You figured it out. You're going into training camp. You see us out here grinding every day. At this time, we out here working. Yeah. Would you just sit at the crib?
Sitting at the crib.
I'm straight. I'll figure this out.
I'll be all right. It's just Nebraska. And then my mindset, before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But once I got there, they showed me. I'm seeing tight ends they're way faster than me. They're pushing off of me on routes, creating separation. It's like I'm thinking I'm judging the cover 2 ball, and I'm like falling. Like it was bad. I had a bad camp, so I was only playing. I was the number 2 safety going into week 1. I was playing on special teams. My first kickoff, we opened up. We kicked the ball off to him. And I got smoked on kickoff the trap block.
Trap the 5. Ooh.
Oh my goodness, he put my feet in the air. Yeah. So I'm getting up from that. And I'm just like, maybe like we tell the kids, maybe the stage is too big. Maybe this is my stop. You know what I'm saying? So I go through that, and then I was actually on kickoff with Eric Martin, a guy from Rancho Verde.
Yeah,
and he was a killer on kickoff.
Were you the 4 or the 5?
I was the 5. He was the R5. I was the L5. So boom, after the kicker, I think he might have made the tackle. So he's like, "Oh, I got the tackle before you." We laugh, and I'm like, "Man, I got smoked." He just started laughing. He was like, "I told you to open your eyes because I never played."
You don't know you're running in a straight line with blinders on. Yeah, I got caught by Ohio State like that. I thought I was getting the ball, and the 3 looped around, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm about to make a play," and then boom, it's like, "Damn, bro, I've been there. That sucks."
So, boom. So that happened. Now I'm like, man,
it's a lot.
Courtney Osborne was our starting safety that game, and he did something. Bo Pelini took him out. I went in there. Oh my God! I went in there. I went in. That tackle might have been like the 2nd or 3rd play.
That quick.
Boom.
And now you
cover
get the juices.
4. That's why I tell the guys now, man, in quarters, man, he's not gonna see you. If you get there, he's not gonna see you coming. You're gonna blow him up.
And that was one of the biggest hits I've seen. That's when it just went. Damien's arrived in college football.
I think that woke me up because everything was cool. Yeah, everything never looked back. I never
slow down. You have the confidence, and I tell the kids, confidence is so much of the process, right? Mm-hmm. If you're confident in your ability, you go from high school being All-American confident, and transition to college with that same confidence, right? And you play early, your career is going to take off. Mm-hmm. The worst thing that happens is you transition and you redshirt and you get comfortable and you start doubting yourself and you're can I do this? Do I belong here? This, right? All those different things that got us to that point, we just kind of put a trash can lid over, and it's just we're kind of sitting there, and then now you have these thoughts. There's, like you said, am I good enough? Am I this? And naturally, your game just gets worse, right? And you're still the same person. It's just confidence-wise, your mentality and your approach. Now, what used to make you special, you're hesitating on. You're taking a false step versus taking 2 steps to the ball, right? And it's like, if you could go into a program and play early, you're going to skyrocket. And some guys can't figure it out. They can't redshirt, and then they could have a good camp or something that kind of gets that confidence back, right? But confidence, I believe, is the most important thing when you play the game because it allows you to play fast. And in order to play in college and the NFL, you have to play fast. You have to play instinctual. You can't think, right? And that's when you play your best football, right? So for you, even to back up a little bit, so what did you have to do to even get into Nebraska? Did you have to take a bunch of classes?
I had to take a bunch of classes. I had to go. See, I went to Chaffee. I played football at Chaffee, but I had to go. I had to take classes at what was that Colorado school online?
Colorado, Adam State.
Adam State. There was another one like Rocky Mountain State. I did
Nebraska online school.
I had all kinds of stuff going on. But I ended up doing all that at San Bernardino Valley.
Gotcha.
I took classes at San Bernardino Valley. I was doing all kinds of stuff to make it. But like I said, I had made that choice. Like, you gonna do what it takes or not? Like, you know what I'm saying? There again, once I had, okay, you're gonna go to Nebraska. You're committed. Are you gonna get into school? We don't know. I get another curveball. Like, boom, I got this for you. You could do this, and that. And I'm like, okay, if you don't do it now, then
we're gonna lose this.
You know what I'm saying? So that, like I said, that worked out. Made it to Nebraska. I was supposed to go during the spring, didn't end up going to the fall.
Ooh, spring ball,
so luckily, Bo really, like, you know what I'm saying, they really were patient with me, you know what I'm saying? So it all worked out.
That's good. So you stayed there, 2 years?
Yep, junior and senior year, played right away. Got 2 and I had 3 years to play 2 because I never used no red shirt.
Yeah, red shirt.
So my clock started, I kept rolling all the way through.
Nice. Yeah. So now you're done with your Nebraska career, right? You got to pick an agent. You go through that whole process. Yeah. Explain to people how did it go for you picking your agent, right? Was it a quick process, or were you able to kind of meet the person, build a relationship? Yeah. Do you feel like you picked the right agent looking back, or?
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how I picked my agent because I had a lot of them at me. I was even coming out of Nebraska. I think it was 2 safeties ahead of me. I think it was Eric Reed and Bakari Rambo, and then I was a number 3 safety coming out. So
that's how they had you slotted.
I had a strong safeties. The NFL they break it down. So strong safeties, it was Eric Reed, Bakari Rambo, me, and like DJ Swearinger, I think, or something. So I had a lot of agents. Reaching out. They're sending me the package. All the bulls. Oh, I represented this guy, all that. And then I met with a couple. You know what I'm saying? And then I was meeting with people that I knew people that had like
with them,
exactly. So like when I met with the agent that I picked, he was the agent for Niles Paul, which was a Nebraska
tight end from the Redskins.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly. So Niles
he was a Nebraska guy, huh?
Exactly.
There you go.
He was Niles Paul's guy, and I had talked to Niles a few times about him, and you know what I'm saying. And then even just me, I felt good about. I had a good vibe with my agent that I picked too. So he was John Pursley.
What company?
Out of New York? Not Sports. Was it Sports Stars? Yeah, Sports Stars.
Okay.
Yeah, Sports Stars, New York. He was a cool dude. You know what I'm saying. He was real cool. He acted like he cared. Like you know what I'm saying. It wasn't money. He had a gang of guys making. He had a gang of guys that he already. He's not looking for money. And then after I went to this is how I knew he really cared, because like I said, the preseason hype, oh, he's this, he's that. But then I go to the combine and I didn't run a good 40. I should have not even ran at all, but I didn't run a good 40.
Or you just didn't prepare like you should have? What are you looking back at it?
I think I was too heavy. I think I got too big.
Where were you at?
I think I weighed in at like 226 at the combine.
Bro, you're
like
freaking linebacker. You got to be 218. This was a 226.
I was like 226. So, I ran like 4.68.
So did you put on weight during your combine? Were they trying to cut you, or they just let you do what you want to do?
Yeah, I was just blowing up. I trained at right there at the Home Depot Center. What was that?
Exos.
No, it was
API.
Something. API. Yeah. Okay,
now,
Okay. So API. Yeah, I trained there, and I didn't really take it serious. I was eating.
LA
they got the meal prep stuff. I'm like, man, I'm not eating that. I'm going to Chipotle. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I got some money from my agent. I got the rental car. I got the extended stay spot. Like, man, I'm finna go do it up.
Yeah.
So
like I said, just like Vontez, y'all too, boys.
You feel me?
Man, I'm back in LA. I missed
we
this.
Just living. You know what I'm saying? So, so that was the weight thing. You know what I'm saying? Then even after that, he was still like,
Would you run your 40, 4.7?
4.68, yeah, 4.7.
That's not bad. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but when I was training, I was running 4.5 all day when I was training. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
That's what he's telling me. He's telling these guys, because they know I'm a bigger safety.
Guy,
he's gonna be 4.5. He's like, you run 4.5, we'll be good.
4.68,
we'll be straight.
like, little backer.
4.68, exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, is he even a safety? You know what I'm saying? But the thing that saved me there too was. But my workout, I ran a slow time, but my workout was like nice hips. I'm catching everything, deep balls, everything. I'm catching in everything.
So the worst part of your combine was just the 40?
Just the 40. Even bench press, I was a top performer. I did 23, I think.
That's good.
And they took like 2 or 3 from me for lifting my hips. You know what I'm saying? I'm throwing the 225 up. Boom, boom.
That was easy.
Vertical jump, I think I jumped like 31, 32, which is kind of, broad jump, all that stuff was pretty cool. 3-cone drill, was
just
cool.
40, yeah.
Just a 40. So boom, we get on that. He's like, man, your weight and your 40 time. Pro day, you got to fix it.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna be.
Did you run again after pro day?
I ran again at pro day. I ran 4.56 the first one. Then I ran 4.54, and I pulled my hamstring on the second. It's crazy because I ran faster. Like the last 3, I could just feel it. Like, boom. Then I just
flat tire.
Exactly. So boom. So pro day went good. Tennessee worked me out. Pittsburgh worked me out the next morning after pro day.
Right after?
Yeah, the next morning.
Damn.
Yeah.
Even with the hamstring?
Yeah. He was like, man, can you go? I was like, it's kind of sore. He was like, yeah, we just want to see you go. Like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't force me, but they was like, we're here. We're only here to work you. It was just me. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're only here to work you out. So you know what I'm saying? So I worked out, and yeah. That's who ended up calling.
Yeah, exactly. So you're sitting there. What was their projection of you? What did they think your draft pick was going to be? Were you think top 100 guy? What was your agent telling you?
I wasn't thinking top 100, but I knew that because I had a good interview at the combine with San Francisco. Even though interviews don't mean anything, but I had a good interview with Harbaugh at San Francisco, and they needed a safety, and they said they were going to draft the safety first round.
Damn.
So, and they did. It was Eric Reed. I remember sitting there on draft day like,
yeah.
Yeah, but they drafted Eric Reed, and then I want to say the next safety that went was, I think, Rambo. I think he went next. No, I'm lying. Zeke Mata from Notre Dame, big white boy safety. Like, he was like 6'3". He was like 223. They didn't give him one. But he was 6'3" and a half. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stretched out. So, I want to say
Did you think you're going to go to the Titans? Is that kind of where you felt like, okay, they're going to get me?
After the first round, I was kind of lost. I was like panicking, like, oh shit, like,
Yeah.
damn, does the combine mean more than the pro day? Like, oh, I'm worried about everything.
Yeah.
Now I'm worried
All
about
the
off
things
the
that you
field
can't
shit.
control,
Because some of those interviews, they're like, hey man, what's up with?
For sure.
A lot of things, like, man, you be throwing
They
the
ask me
gang
what
signs
my
when you make a play, like, you know what I'm saying? What does all that mean? Like, what does this mean? Like, why'd you get in an argument with Bo Pelini like that on TV? I remember we played Penn State. I don't know if you've seen the clip or not.
And break this down because this is important for kids. You know, realize
this is the worst thing you can do as a player. We're playing Penn State on ABC, big game. They had just scored a touchdown. Bo Pelini said something to somebody else, but I thought he was talking to me. So I said something back to him, and I think he said like, "Shut the F up" or something like that. And me being me, being a young, simple-minded kid, having a problem, prideful, and just not knowing how to react to authority because I'm raised by a single mom. Like, you know what I'm saying? There wasn't really a figure like that now.
Yeah.
So a man yelling at me is like, hold on, I'm the only man in this house. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Bo says that, and then I like spin, and we have our little words, and I'm like pointing at him in his face. You know what I'm saying? Like, arguing, woo.
And the whole world watching.
And the whole world's watching. It's literally they go to commercial break. Like, you know what I'm saying? They replay it. Like the next week, Desmond Howard's talking about it on game day. Like, I'm sitting there getting ready for whoever we play next week, Michigan, whoever.
Watching
and I'm watching me looking crazy on TV. And the worst part about it, I love Bo. Like, you know what I'm saying? He even covered for me after the game and was like, "Oh, what was that with you and Stafford?" He's like, Oh, nothing. That's it's
part of the game.
Yeah, Stafford. He did this with coaches that I even interviewed with at the combine. They're like, "Oh yeah, Bo spoke." He probably told them the truth. I know coaches is gonna tell them the truth. But he even, they was like, "Yeah, coach said it wasn't nothing. You're just such a competitor."
But they know who they recruit.
Yeah, exactly. So
straight up. Yeah. So for the kids out there, right? Everything that you do leading up to draft, right? It can be uncovered.
Yeah.
I remember having NFL coaches reach out to our counselors at Norco, reach out to high school coaches, like colleges, right? Different things like that. And even with me going to New Mexico Highlands, 2-time All-American break and all that stuff, I knew with the stuff that I did in my past, and it was nothing crazy, but it was just stupid shit, and if you're investing a lot of money into a guy, I knew the off-the-field stuff, throwing parties in colleges, all that crazy stuff I was doing, that it was eventually going to catch up to me, right? I didn't know then. Right, I was more worried about making $1 and doing stuff like that because again, I didn't have any. Right, stipend was $1,100 a month living in LA. Right. We had no money to do nothing. Right, but all that stuff that you do in high school, college, and the NFL, it's dug up. How you act on the field, how you communicate with the coach, what you do on campus. Like their job, they hire FBI. Their job is to find everything about a player possible before they go and give them millions of dollars.
For sure.
And I felt like. For you should have been a top safety drafted, right? There's shit that comes from high school to Juco to where you're at, getting to the NFL. Yeah. As you make the transition to the Titans, you get drafted. What was your transition there? Were you comfortable, right? So you go from Nebraska to Tennessee, right? It seems like another Norco, you know. How was Nashville?
Nashville was actually pretty fun. You know what I'm saying? Nashville was cool. I like Nashville.
Music capital of the world.
Country is like, it's just like, it's like LA for actors, but just country music. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's their LA or their Vegas. Like,
straight up.
You know what I'm saying? And just that whole little culture, the country, you know what I'm saying, the barbecue, all that crazy stuff.
Did you enjoy your time there?
Oh yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. From
teammates, coaches,
teammates,
like that.
coaches. Yeah, I only had one coach. We had a coach that, because I'm a firm believer in, if you coach something, you had to have played it at least one varsity or been a backup or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? We had a coach that for sure had never played defensive back in his life. Yeah. I don't care if he was 8 years old. Like, he would never.
And that's crazy. You see that in the league, though. Yeah. You see a lot of guys who know somebody who knows somebody who got hired as a tight ends coach, a running back coach, a DB coach, right? This is my boy, so I'm going to put him on, right? I just need you to regurgitate what I teach and tell them exactly what to do. But it's like, you never played this before, right? And I've seen a lot of guys, whether it was Sean McVay when he was with the Redskins, to Gruden, to even Pete Carroll, right? They never played football. Right. But as athletes, we don't realize there's football being a player, but then there's learning the game of football, and these guys study football like it's a PhD. Like they have a master's in football, the Belichicks, the Sabins, like guys like that. Like their job is to understand football and teach football. Yeah. And I've seen so many athletes like us, like, bro, you never even played this sport. You ain't teaching me this. You never done it, you know? Yeah. But it's crazy how many head coaches are guys that really never played the game. Yeah. Yeah. So you got a coach, you don't like him, he don't know nothing about football.
He was actually a cool guy, but it was just hard to take certain points from him because it's like, no, that doesn't make sense. That, on the field stuff. Now on with the laser and teaching you how to watch film and breaking it down, he actually slowed down because I was at another breaking point. We'll get to that later. But he could teach you how to study film and to learn the defense and all that. Yeah, that's perfect. He's like a teacher, like a professor. Yeah,
teachers, exactly.
But you can't tell me that lining up at 20 yards, just because I'm at 20 yards, I should be able to cover the fade from sideline to sideline. Yeah. First of all, Earl Thomas is the only one that's doing that right now. For sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm 220 pounds.
He's a long way to go.
195. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just things like that, you know what I'm saying? Or telling you how to break or, you know what I'm saying? Just some stuff he just didn't get it, you know what I'm saying? Because he's never got it.
Yeah. So was he your coach as soon as you got in, or was
no? This was like year 3. So I'm not a vet, but I know what's going on. Yeah,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So year 2 and 3, and
some
I'm
stripes.
Come on, yeah. So and then the transition from that, it was
speed
cool.
And size again.
Oh, speed and size again.
Always.
Yep. It wasn't as bad as the Nebraska transition, but it was definitely still a transition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you go from chasing Rex Burkhead, which was a good, awesome running back for Nebraska, to chasing Chris Johnson.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's like chasing a Mercedes or in a Ferrari. It's still a fast car, but a Ferrari's killing. You know what I'm saying?
For
sure. So, chasing CJ was definitely an eye opener. You got big receivers. Kenny Britt, Delaney Walker just came from San Francisco. Tight end, special teams demon.
Was Lindell there, or he was already gone?
Lindell had left like the year before, I think.
Out?
Yeah, I met him though. He was still hanging around. Yeah, with Kendall Wright. Yeah, we used to play the game and all that good stuff. Yeah, he used to be around Lindell.
Lindell.
It was the quarterbacks on the money, like just. Because no disrespect to Taylor, you know what I'm saying? Nebraska quarterbacks.
Football, that's why I try to tell people.
We didn't really have quarterbacks. They were glorified running backs. Like, he was a running back. He didn't really. But,
because my first experience going to the NFL was James Harrison.
Yeah.
Vontez Burfict, Ray Maluga, Taylor Mays, rolling down from strong. I thought SC was loaded, right? You had Cush, you had Clay, you had Ray, you had Keith Rivers, all first rounders. But now you go and it's like, all right, I'm trying to make a team.
Yeah.
Like, dog, are you kidding me? Do you have Ray, Vontez, James Harrison, then you got, what's his name, Taylor rolling down? Like, come on, bro. Like, this is creative players.
And who else? Reggie Nelson, I think, was
the free. Yeah. With the dreads, bro. And then we had a little light-skinned dude, too. He made like $12 million or $15 million a year. Light-skinned bald dude. 29. Harris, maybe? But then we even had the guy from Alabama, the dreadhead from Alabama.
Oh, Drake Kirkpatrick.
We had Drake Kirkpatrick. We had Carlos Dunlap. You had they do from Georgia, start with like an F, number 92, first rounder. You had the big Samoan dude with the hair, pot 2 or whatever. Bro, it was like 6'8" defensive ends. Yeah, I'm over here at 5'10" trying to call the huddle. Like, come on.
That was a nasty defense.
Man, the Bengals defense is crazy. But yeah, there is no really weak links. Yeah. Everything's done right. Everyone's in the right place at the right time.
Those linemen are climbing.
That's the biggest thing. How I play linebacker, I could backdoor stuff. I could play
Yeah.
That outside zone happened so fast, and they doubled and got up, and I was so backside on the play. I was like, "Damn!"
That's you gotta anticipate.
You gotta
That's
go.
when you get that anticipation. That's what I try to teach the kids now. Like, look where he's sitting. Look what Look
He's
what
giving
you can
it
get
away
off of this.
Yeah.
Just think what you can get. If you do this, it's that. If you do that,
do that.
But
Boom.
just go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where I learned that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like,
you have to, or you're not gonna make it.
You have no chance.
If you see the stretch after the snap, you're not gonna get there late.
I go back to the confidence thing, right? When I was confident, I could have made that play. Mm-hmm. But just because I'm now, and it's like, I'm seeing a lot instead of seeing a little, right? Those instincts, adrenaline that made me great, where you get down to how much weight he's putting on the outside leg or how much on his hand, right? You zero in because you're so confident in the game.
Right.
Versus when you get there, the game's so big. I remember that transition to SC also was like, whoa, and then once you get, and also it's playing with, like where it says your idols become your rivals, whatever that quote is, right? It's like, dog, I looked up to, James Harrison, right? I'm looking up to these these guys. Now you're on the field with them. Like, damn, that's crazy. Like, I'm playing now with guys that, I grew up playing on Madden.
Yeah, that was right? Cool. Yeah, that was a cool part too.
That was crazy.
That was cool.
Pac-Man Jones was on the team. It's like, damn, this is a crazy bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
That was the cool thing. When you get there, it's like, oh, wow, okay, this is real now.
Yeah. I think my rookie year we played, who do we play first? Oh, we played Washington first, actually. I actually blew up Niles. I ran down the field, blew Niles up, and made the tackle on kickoff. Because I was injured all training camp. Okay, so boom, I get drafted, go to Tennessee. Boom, I'm making good plays. Special teams, I'm killing. Special teams coach, Nate.
They got to love you on special teams.
They loved me on special teams. Boom, I get through training camp. I pull my hamstring like, when did I do it? No, I did it in the first preseason game. So we play Washington. Boom, I make a few tackles. I pull my hamstring running down on kickoff. My hamstring's pulled. I don't play all the way until the fourth preseason game. I missed preseason 2, 3.
Ooh, and that's scary.
And you need that. I'm a 7th round pick. I don't have no room. They could cut me and they're not gonna miss nothing. Exactly. So boom. Luckily, like I said, Coach Nate liked me on special teams and I was balling. So boom, they give me another shot on I come back on the fourth game. The fourth game, no vets play.
Yeah, it's time to shine.
It's all youngsters. You know what I'm saying? You playing every snap. Don't actually come out. You're playing special teams. You're playing defense.
Yep, see what you got in your heart, kid.
You know what I'm saying? So boom, I ball. I'm making plays on defense. I'm making plays on special teams.
Who were you playing?
I was playing safety. Yeah.
But who were you playing? What team?
We were playing the Vikings. We're playing the Vikings. Yeah. We're playing. I remember Toby was still there. He didn't play against us, but Toby was still there. AP was still there.
Yeah.
But so we play the Vikings. I get an interception. One of our linebackers stripped the ball. Not scoop and score, but I scoop it, run for like 30 or 40.
Good feeling.
Yeah, so I ball out. You know what I'm saying?
Security.
You can even see it like on one of my highlights. I get an interception against the Vikings. And when they finally tackled me, all the starters, Bernard Pollard, Jason McCourty, Michael Griffin.
That's dope.
Cody Sensabaugh, all the starters came in. They're like, oh, yeah, you in there now. Because before, they like, hey, you already know shit. If you don't do nothing, you're out of here. It was nice knowing you. Hey, love you. Good luck.
Good luck.
Do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Coming right in to replace you soon.
You know what I'm saying? So, boom, I do my thing. They're like, bro, you in there for sure now.
That's love. Especially when the vets are looking out for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another thing also. I was surrounded by a good group of vets. And that's who kept me low and out of trouble while I was playing in the league. You know what I'm saying? I never got in no trouble while I was in the league. None of that DUI stuff, no weird, all that bunk stuff.
And once you're in there, you should be good because you're around. And the coolest thing about the league, right? The vets have families, right? They have kids, they have families, so you they're not really getting in trouble. They go out, but they have a family to go back to, right? Really, it's that rookie group that comes in, and the year before that, that's kind of still wilding because they're still 22, 23. Yeah. They're still out hitting the streets and things like that. But if you have a vet that grabs onto you, it's like, bro, come over to the house. Yeah. Come play poker, come play cards, come do X, Y, and Z, right? If you get a good vet to kind of grab onto you, you could escape all the bullshit.
Yeah, I had George Wilson. George Wilson and Jason McCourty, I would say, were my two guys. Because George, he taught me how to be a pro. Like,
be a pro, exactly.
Do what you want to do outside of these doors, you know what I'm saying? And at home, and do whatever you do outside these doors. But once you walk in them doors,
it's all ball.
That's why. And I use that I'm mad that I learned this so late in life. But even still to this day, I know how to, you know what I'm saying, differentiate different settings.
And a lot of people don't, right? I always say there's a lot of NFL players. There's very few pros. Yeah. Right? And that's the one thing I learned immediately in the locker room was like, there's 90 NFL guys on the team, but there's probably 25 pros that are doing it right from how they show up, how they take care of their body, the extra work, the extra physical therapy, the massages at their house, the eating right, the supplements. It's a full-time job to be a pro, right? You see so many guys that come in and out the league, but the guys that played 10 years, it's like you had to figure something out to keep your job for 10 years in the highest professional sport. Right. You know what I'm saying? With gorillas coming in all the time, Yeah. And that's the biggest thing we could preach to the kids here, and I feel like we do a good job with Winter Circle is we're teaching you how to be a pro in third grade. Yeah. You might not get it in third grade, right? You might not realize the showing up and taking your supplements, the polos, right? The dress code, the yes sir, the no sir, the film study, the Zoom meetings, right? The finishing through the line, not to the line. All these things, we're almost brainwashing them at this age to create good habits. Eventually, you're going to realize when you get to high school how much farther you are ahead of everyone else because you guys are the 1%.
Right.
There's only 200 kids that go to school here. You got to figure out how many kids are in middle school, elementary in Southern California. There's millions, right? You guys are getting nuggets from guys like you who played in the league, right? Guys on staff that been there, that's done that train the best players. And if we could give you all the answers to the test now and teach you how to be a pro, it's going to take you so far in your career. And it's really up to them to apply what we're giving them, right? We're giving them all free game, right? We're giving them nuggets like this is what it looks like from a Juco standpoint, a D2 standpoint, an All-American standpoint, top draft pick, right? You have the information, kids, but it's you guys have to apply it and realize we're only hard on you because we've been there, we've done it, and we know how scary that shit is once you lose it, right? So take advantage of this game as much as possible and get as much out of it as possible because the game ends for everybody, you know?
And build relationships, man. It's relationships, huge, man. It's huge. That's why you don't burn bridges, you don't burn people. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just, build those relationships, keep those relationships, no matter what the aspect you are in life. You know what I'm saying? You could be doing whatever, but make sure that over here is still good,
100%. So for you did what, 4 years in the league?
Yeah, I played all 4 years in Tennessee, finished my rookie deal.
Why didn't you go back? Were you looking for a change, or was it just kind of over in Tennessee? You were over the situation.
Tennessee, they had drafted Kevin Byard. I think they drafted Kevin Byard. I want to say my second or third year. How many years did I play with KB? Probably 2. So probably year 3, they drafted him pretty high. So I figured that they were going in a new direction.
Yeah.
So that I entered free agency, and then free agency just took too long for me. I was just I was at that road again. It's like
how old were you at this time?
Shit. I got drafted probably like 21, so I was probably like 25. Maybe.
25?
Yeah, 24, 25.
And the Steelers worked you out, right?
Yeah,
before, so they came back because you're a Steelers type of guy.
Yeah, the Steelers process went, okay, boom, so free agency went through. The Steelers were like, hey, we're going to come work you out. No, Jacksonville worked me out first. They flew me to Jacksonville.
I want to go Jacksonville.
I worked out for Jacksonville. That went good. But I was heavy. I was like 222. They didn't like that. So, boom, I come back. I go work out for Pittsburgh. I go weigh in. I was like 224. They like, man, we love you. Like, you know what I'm saying? We could. Even actually the GM was like, man, what are you still doing, like, without a contract? Like, like, what's wrong with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, nothing. I'm wondering the same thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at this point, I'm not being disrespectful to him, but I'm telling him, like, yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have the film. I have the numbers. Like, I played. I got experience.
I'm a captain. Like, you don't get NFL. You're not a captain. Yeah, I was a special teams captain.
Wow, good stuff.
I was going to say sophomore year. But my 4th year in the league, I was a special teams captain. But like you don't get stuff like that for being having poor character.
100%.
Report, you know what I'm saying? So,
especially on special teams because you're doing all the dirty work.
Exactly. So so he says that, and then I weigh in. I work out. I weigh in, and they're like, if you come back at 218, if you come back under 218 next week, we'll sign you. So I went back home. I worked out. I want to say I came back here. I was working.
Yeah, you were training here.
Yeah. So boom, I came back. And then, I dropped the weight and shit, I was out of there.
I remember, you took off, you signed out there.
Yeah.
So you're with the Steelers then, right? You signed a good contract. Not as good as you should have, but you signed a contract.
Yeah, vet minimum. I don't even know what it was, to be honest.
What was it, 2 years, 3 years?
It was like a 1 year deal. Yeah, it was just vet minimum 1 year. Like, let's see what it does. Like,
yeah.
But Mike T, he did tell me, like, this is a 1 year deal, but if you do what you're supposed to for us, hey, we're gonna give it. Yeah, we're gonna give it to you. Yeah.
So you went there, you went to training camp, and what happened with training camp?
I never went to training camp. I went to mini camp, I went to OTAs, and then mini camp came, training camp came. I was supposed to fly out, and I was just over it. I just had already, like I said, that fork in the road.
Yeah. And
like I told you with the coaching stuff, I don't like wasting people's time. If I'm not feeling it, I'm gonna let you know. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I called Mike T, like, yeah, I'm
Walked away from a contract.
I'm good, man. Like, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you and all that. And then he was like, man, he was like, I feel you. I'm going to give you a week. He's like, I'm going to call you back next Friday.
Yeah.
He called me back next Friday. I never answered the phone.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but like I said, I just made my mind up. And I told him, I didn't want to waste nobody's time. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So what was, when you're at that point, was it just like, I'm overplaying the game, I'm over the condition, I'm over running, I'm over being undervalued? Like, what was it at 25 years old, right? Because people die for that opportunity, you know? And for you just to say, I'm straight, bro. Yeah. Like, what made you kind of, was it an immature decision looking back on it? Was it just like, I'm ready for the next chapter? What was it kind of?
Yeah, I was just ready for the next chapter. I've been playing football forever, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it was just time. And I always told myself, once I'm over it, I'm over it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like anything else. It's just people quit at Walmart.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Up.
They work 40 years at Walmart, quit, and it's like,
for sure.
It's cool for them. Shit, why can't I? Like, I retired. Like, you know what I'm saying? I never told nobody I was gonna play for 80 years and stuff like that. Like, I told you, I'm gonna make it. My dream is to make it to the NFL. I did that. I played you know what I'm saying? I did what I was supposed to do, what I wanted to do. And that was, you know.
That was it.
That was it.
If you have to give the kids out there, right, now you're back here coaching at Winter Circle, if you could give them any advice from how you started your process to where you ended it, what would it be?
Just keep your eyes on what matters, man. Worry about what matters. Don't be stressing over stuff you can't control. Who's offering you? Who's looking at you? Who's 7-on-7 team you're on? Whose team you're going to play for? Like, just play football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just play football, go to school. All that cool stuff that you think you're missing, you'll be able to do it. Once you get your contract and all that, make it to where you're trying to go, you'll be able to do everything that you think you're missing, times 10.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing it right now, you barely can afford it. You know what I'm saying? Probably all the clubbing and stuff. Probably could barely afford it in college, and then, you know, in between, and then, you know what I'm saying, that first little deal, that's really not no money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It looks like it, but it ain't. You know, I got my signing bonus. It was like 50,000. I was like, oh my God.
I'm rich, right? Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Just stay focused, man, and just work. It's all gonna pay off. You know what I'm saying? Just work. I remember being in high school at Norco doing Hell Week with Coach Klein. Like, oh my God, I want to do this. And then it seemed like that. I was drafted and playing NFL football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it goes fast. Like that. Yeah. So just stay focused, and you'll be happy with the results.
That's awesome. So now, right? Football's done. You've been out of football for how many years now?
Like 10, I think. I think I retired in.
Dang, it went quick.
23? Or no. I got drafted in 37. I think 2017.
Yeah, 2017 you're done, right?
Yeah, 17.
So about 7 years.
Yeah.
So are you excited working with kids now? You know, like this next chapter for you, what do you want it to look like?
Yeah, I just want to be one of those coaches that's like, you know, like, because I had a coach, my coach, junior college coach, actually, Coach Hadaway. That's the best DB coach I ever had.
Yeah.
He got my feet work right. He just slowed the game down for me a lot. Was he a
player's coach, or was he just more of a hard ass, or what
He wasn't really a hard ass. He was like a cool coach. Like, he didn't let me get away with nothing. He didn't show me no favoritism. He worked the shit out of me, but he made sure that I was doing it right.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, okay, go make some plays for me and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, no, this is how you do it. Look, I coached whoop-de-whoop. He would bring like Canadian, like the NFL guys that playing in like Canadian league now. He would bring guys, and the same stuff you're doing here. Like, he would do that for us, and that just, it made me like, you know, it made me want it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to do. I just want to make these kids that want it really want it, and really, you know what I'm saying, do what it takes to. So
kind of growing up at Norco with Todd Gerhardt and those guys, because people don't get how, I don't know if it's crazy as a coach he was, but he would challenge us in certain ways, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he'll walk by you and say, oh, you're not making it. You're not tall enough.
Yeah.
Oh, you're too slow. Like, damn, you don't got a chance, right? And people, they'll, you know, for me, I always say he played Jedi mind tricks on us, right? And it takes a lot. And I do that with kids, and it's not even on purpose. It's just almost telling them the truth and how hard they have to work to fix their situation, right? What were things that Coach Gerhardt said to you that kind of was like, damn, this dude is crazy?
Gerhard's done said some things, man, because I used to stay there, like, during,
Because you live with Gerhard,
I
right?
stayed with him for a little minute, and it was awesome. It was cool. They treated me like their own. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. But yeah, Gerhard, he used to, because Toby and Garth were already gone, so it was just the triplets,
and Colton.
me and Colton.
Yeah.
Oh man, me and Colton used to go through it, man. He used to be on us, but it was all good. I can't think of nothing that he would say, but I just remember certain little lessons and little talk we would have.
Lessons,
yeah, he'd be
talk,
like, he's like, shit, if you want to just go fucking gangbang, then
go back.
Yeah, just dip. Like, fuck, you gonna wait till the end of the year for?
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
What you're gonna do?
And that's the type of guy I am. Like, shit, if you don't want to play, go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't waste nobody's time.
I think that's the best way to be with these kids and talk. And I know it hurts these kids' feelings, but it's like, it takes a lot to put into this, and if you're not 100% in,
this is not the spot.
It's not for you.
You're gonna get yourself hurt. You're gonna, you know what I'm saying?
You're gonna waste a lot of people's time, dog. So if it isn't for you, then go do something else, right? And if it is for you, then you have to correct X, Y, and Z to get it done. And I remember all those little comments that he would make and things like that, but either it would break people or it make people. And for me, it made me, because I didn't want to let this fool be right. Like, oh, you can't go to SC, bro. You're too short. Like, oh, you have to run a 4.5. You have to do this, and this. And it's like, okay, so I got to do those, So then I would go and put in the extra work just to prove this and say, here's my scholarship to SC, bro. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Just to go, but he would push people in certain ways. And that's what I feel like he did really good. He would push kids and push buttons that allowed those kids to be great, but allowed a lot of kids to fold. But at least you figured out in high school.
Early. Yeah. Because I done seen him send a lot of kids home packing, like, just off a little remark, like, oh, yeah. Like,
and it just broke them. Like,
they never recovered. Like,
they couldn't recover.
Good players, too. Good players. And he would break them down, man.
But he put out a lot of good players, right? The last time Norco really was good was when he was the coach. And it's like, the people out there, you had Carl Bradford got drafted, you got drafted, Toby got drafted, Garth made it to a practice squad in the league, I made it a practice squad in the league, Kelsey Young, who else from that team? Was that about it? Dallas made it to SC, Damian Whittington made it to Fresno State. Like, the amount of dudes we were putting out, it was like 25 to 30 guys in.
Eric Hicks. There was a lot of guys.
Bro, there was some good dudes.
Even cats that stopped playing for, like, Wes could have kept playing. Mikey could have kept playing. All those. I think Evan Ruiz went to, like, Redlands or something.
Redlands. We made opportunities where there really wasn't.
You know what I'm saying? So it was easy. We had cats. That
was a good group.
That was the factory.
Shoot, man. So that's kind of your story. It's awesome to have you back here, right?
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
It's awesome to see the kids, someone who's gone through what you've gone through, because they just look up to the kids who they see on Instagram, right? And I always say there's Instagram highlights.
Right.
What you see on the highlights isn't really who that person is, you know? You could go and watch a highlight film, but who is he when the film, outside of these highlight films, you know? So it's good to have these kids understand, like, there's stories like yours of kids who came out of, bouncing around Riverside, right? Going to Arlington, transferring to Norco, not making grades, going to Juco, so having to struggle through Juco, not getting into the school of your dreams if it was SC, and fighting that thing and still being able to make it, right? Because we have a lot of kids that don't come from a silver spoon in their mouth, their parents are working 2 jobs to get them here and things like that. So I think it's awesome having a guy like you around that they can really get to know and see, and learn from. I always tell the guys that come back from college and the NFL, we have a PhD in this, right? Why go do something else? Right? Like, why not take all the 20 years of what we just went through and then pay it forward and pour it into the next kid? So I'm excited to see the kids that come through our program learn from you as long as you're here in our program coaching these kids up. And it's going to be exciting to see where our players grow from you.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate the opportunity, man. For sure. This is good for me, man. This is good. Yeah.
Much love. So episode 5, Daimion Stafford, right? Awesome story. Excited to drop this. Make sure you guys like, you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys hit up Coach D Staff if you guys want any type of position training. We got some really cool things going on here at Winter Circle right now, bringing a lot of great people back home, right, to be a part of the circle. We're launching our new tackle football program this year, so you'll catch us on the field. See you later. Peace out.